Tonight on KGW News, sorting out the national narrative about Portland with the reality on the ground.
It's a burning hellhole.
An invasion? We don't have that. A rebellion? We don't have that.
Where troop deployment and the court battle against it stand tonight. Plus, hear from a conservative influencer arrested during the ICE protests, with the DA now declining to prosecute.
I was jumped in the street and I got arrested for it.
Then, how robots and people are working together in a new local warehouse the size of 64 football fields.
So as soon as you hit buy, a robot grabs the right pod to get it to the associate right away.
And later, meet the Portland High School alum who just won the Nobel Prize.
I'm sure it hasn't quite hit me yet.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin with the latest on President Trump's moves to deploy the National Guard to the Rose City. Let's bring you up to speed. Right now, we're keeping an eye on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And while National Guard troops have mobilized to a military facility in Happy Valley, deployment there is on hold after two rulings from a federal judge this weekend. The question whether the appeals court will weigh in one way or the other or let her ruling stand. Meanwhile, the president saying today he would consider using the Insurrection Act, which would grant him emergency powers to deploy troops as a way to potentially get around the court rulings, though he has yet to do so. And at the same time, Portland city officials are now accusing some federal officers at the ICE facility of using excessive force on some people in the protest crowd. All this comes as we've seen new arrests in the South Waterfront tonight. So let's go first to Catherine Cook live outside the ICE building. So Catherine, how's it looking right now?
David, we've seen a lot more protesters out tonight than we have in recent weeks. Earlier, there were easily 150 or more. In the last hour, though, the crowds here have thinned out, maybe by half. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see what's happening in front of the ICE building. No federal officers out at this time, although we've seen them coming and going from the facility. Most of the action we've witnessed tonight has been between protesters and counter-protesters yelling at one another. There are people in costumes, and as you can see right now, they're getting riled up a little bit more because at this hour, those gentlemen in the helmets with the green lights, those are federal agents coming out. Not quite sure what's about to happen. Typically, yes, I see cars coming through the gate now. Typically, they come out to protect the vehicles as they leave the facility, to disperse the crowds. And I can see folks running towards those vehicles now, towards those federal officers. You can see the federal vehicles leaving the ICE facility now. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's several more coming behind as well. You can see the protesters maintaining their distance, though. We've seen federal officers stepping in tonight. One person was arrested. We don't know the circumstances behind that, so I think folks out here definitely know there are consequences. They're staying back behind the lines. But again, tonight Portland police have also asked people to stay out of the streets, to be on the sidewalks for their safety, and for the most part, people have done just that as they continue to protest.
Monday night, and a larger than average crowd gathered outside Portland's ICE facility. Most here are demonstrating against federal officials, while others are here in counter-protest. Our crews witnessed two people being detained. Federal agents came out and took one person into custody around 8:30. It's unclear why. And earlier Monday evening, Portland police arrested a person connected to a harassment incident that happened Sunday. President Trump Monday shared more thoughts about Portland.
You look at what's happened with Portland over the years, it's a burning hellhole, and then you have a judge that lost her way.
Over the weekend, federal judge Immerget ruled the Trump administration could not deploy Oregon's National Guard to Portland, nor could it deploy members of the California, Texas, or any other state's National Guard to the state, drawing ire from the White House.
With all due respect to that judge, I think her opinion is untethered in reality and in the law. The president is using his authority as commander-in-chief.
Trump wants to send troops to the Federal Immigration Office in South Portland, where he claims protesters have waged an insurrection. Since June, 30 people have been charged with federal crimes at the facility, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. That includes a man arrested this weekend for allegedly throwing a water bottle at a federal officer when he was told to move back from the building's driveway.
These people are not there to peacefully protest. They are there to cause mayhem and havoc.
Over most of the summer, protest groups outside the ICE facility have remained relatively small, though they have challenged federal officials guarding the building and have steadily captured the president's attention.
He has his sights set on Portland, always has, and we were ready for this.
Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield likened the judge's rulings against troop deployments to drawing a clear line in the sand.
There's a reason that we don't accept having the military on our streets. It's un-American. It's not what the framers of our Constitution intended. That's something you'd expect to see in a third world country, and we'll fight to maintain that sense of normalcy because it just is not normal to do that.
Back live in South Portland in front of the ICE building, where we've just watched a group of federal officers step out to escort a group of federal vehicles. Protesters followed suit. The gates closed. Federal officers went back in without incident. We've seen a lot of that tonight, just a lot of loud, active protesters, counter-protesters yelling at each other, live streamers out here, but nothing violent tonight, which is of course good news, especially given everything that we've seen over the weekend. And again, protesters continue out here tonight in South Portland. Back to you.
Yeah, important to point out, Catherine, that things appear to be largely peaceful. Stay safe. Appreciate your reporting up there. Well, meanwhile, a conservative influencer arrested by Portland police last week outside the ICE building no longer faces a disorderly conduct charge. Nick Sorter came to Portland from Washington, D.C. Police arrested him and 2 others on Thursday for fighting, they say, near the ICE building. The Multnomah County DA's office today says it reviewed video of the incident and decided to drop the charge against him. And while Sorter claimed his arrest was politically motivated, Police Chief Bob Day disputes that.
I think that was a good decision on their part. This would have been a very dumb case to proceed with.
All of our arrests are based on probable cause. All of those arrests are evaluated by the district attorney's office. Charges may or may not be issued. We've seen this over the years, and this is not unusual. This is how the criminal justice system works.
Portland police saying they continue to step in and make arrests as needed without assisting federal officials with immigration enforcement efforts. By the way, Chief Day and Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield were guests tonight on a special episode of Straight Talk. You can watch that anytime on our free TV app, KGW+. Also today, Portland's city attorney sent a letter to the DOJ claiming the federal government is using excessive force against peaceful protesters. The attorney says federal agents are shoving peaceful veterans and elderly people to the ground. They're also concerned about the use of pepper spray and impact munitions, things like rubber bullets on an otherwise peaceful crowd. One protester who's been dressed in an inflatable frog costume says federal agents pepper sprayed him.
And somebody fell in the process, and I was in the process of helping that comrade up. It's in the video, and the ICE agent, DHS agent I should say, got behind me and sprayed into my air vent. To be honest, I had a headache for a while.
The letter also alleges the federal government specifically targets demonstrators based on their political beliefs and what they say, and favors people who agree with the administration. Stay with KGW for continuing coverage as the legal cases and protests continue to play out. We'll keep you updated on air on KGW.com and on KGW+. New tonight, one person is in critical condition after first responders rescued them from a house fire in Tualatin. TVFNR says when they responded to the home on Southwest Paiute Court around 7, they found flames and heavy smoke coming from the windows. Crews found a person inside. They were taken to the hospital. The fire was knocked down by 9 this evening. No word yet on the cause. Okay, let's take you outside now on this Monday night with a harvest supermoon high in the sky after a gorgeous October day that was, in some spots, feeling like a return to summer. Celine Stevens is in for Matt. Celine, it sounds like we've got one more where that came from.
Definitely, David. Yeah, one more, which is going to be tomorrow of upper 70s and clear skies. After that, here comes the rain. But we're not there yet. Right now, looks really nice outside. Looking at our sky cam on the Wells Fargo Tower, sitting at 57 degrees at the moment. Those winds coming out of the west at 6 miles per hour. It was a breezy day today and also expected to be breezy early tomorrow morning as well. But taking a look at those temperatures across our map, we're seeing upper 50s in Vancouver, 67 degrees in Hillsborough right now, 60 in McMinnville as well. And along the coast, temperatures also pretty pleasant, 70 degrees in Tillamook, 68 in in Newport. And temperatures earlier today were a lot warmer than they were yesterday. Right now, Portland's about even, but still warmer in places like Vancouver. They're at 6 degrees warmer right now than this time yesterday, 13 in Hillsborough. Even along the coast, temperatures were nice and warm, 16 degrees warmer in Newport than this time yesterday. So we were on a little warming trend, again, continuing tomorrow, and then after that, things change. We're going to have some moisture moving into our area, and as we're looking at Thursday, 2:30 in the morning, the Dow's already getting hit by that rain. Portland's staying dry at least early Thursday morning, but by the time we get to around Friday into the weekend, we're looking at a decent amount of rain. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Big change on the way. Thanks, Helene. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a Vancouver teenager has been charged with second-degree murder after authorities say she strangled a woman to death. Court documents say 17-year-old Karma Douglas got into a fight with Chantal Trotter inside Trotter's home early Sunday morning. We are identifying the suspect because she's been charged as an adult and because of the severity of the crime. Here is the victim's son.
She was a hard worker, a hard-headed person who put her best foot forward in every situation, always had a smile on her face, making sure that everybody around her was taken care of and happy.
Douglas's next appearance is scheduled for Friday.
We're currently tracking a verified stolen with charges of reckless and elude.
Well, new tonight, chopper video shows a police pursuit that crossed the Columbia. Authorities say this started when a driver accused of stealing a car fled from police during a traffic stop near the airport. Portland police followed him by air, then Vancouver police officers picked him up on the ground. Body camera video shows the suspect being arrested. He's now facing charges that include possession of a stolen vehicle and possession of a controlled substance. And former Oregon State Senator Daniel Bonham of the Dows has been nominated as an Assistant Secretary of Labor. Bonham, who had been Senate Republican leader, announced his resignation last month, which took effect yesterday. Now, if confirmed, Bonham will serve under Labor Secretary and former Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez DeRemer.